Peace be upon you. Oh, okay. Too little. You're doing too little or not enough. You're stingy about something. Careful. Cautious. Cautious is the word. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, you're stingy. Stingy energy. You're catching yourself in spending. You may have already filled some baskets here and there, had your eyes on some stuff and so on. I don't think it's about others though. I think it's you're trying to treat yourself to something. But you're stingy when it comes to buying things for yourself. Four of Pentacles, 4, and 5, Society, 4 of Wands. Buying something for the home, appliances, improving, etc. You can do it. Go for it. You know what you're doing. And the projects in reverse. These are not long-term projects. These are just temporary investments to improve either your quality of life, and as if you're committing to being more invested in something. For example, if you determine that you're going to change your diet and just be more proactive and taking things more seriously, right? Putting an effort in, then automatically you want to, all of a sudden you realize that you lack that device or electronics or home appliances and so on. 7. And it's number 43 in this deck, so it's 7. 7 of Cups in reverse. No confusion, nothing to be confused about. And it's precisely the 4th card. For 4, 7, 7, a doorway, a portal. 2, actually. You're trying to cover all fronts. You're multitasking. You're focused on many things at one time. It's actually revealing to you how skilled and capable you're starting to remember how capable you are, the things you can tap into. This is her. She's practical, she's rational. We did speak about that full moon in Taurus. This is the energy, Taurus energy, right here. Treating yourself, making sure you have your needs met, comfort. You're finally tending to your actual needs. You're aware of your environment, what you need to go, undertake, etc. More conscious of how you spend, what you spend. You are definitely taking it upon yourself to be more productive, more functional, more wise, more practical, more rational. So you realize nobody's going to do it unless I do it. Self-aware, I hear. Taking responsibility for your own situation, well-being, financial situation, whatever you associate with abundance and fruitfulness. It doesn't always have to quantify in just the actual price of things or whether they're branded or not, but actual utility. You're very practical in the sense. So choose those devices that you feel good about, regardless of the brand. So obviously there's some offers going on. You're planning on getting really down to business and pulling out that glorious feminine that is all hands on, busy, busy, busy bee energy. Very beautiful. Okay. Indecision, yeah, as I said, very indecisive, because indeed you do have some, you're struggling financially. You wouldn't actually be able, if you were to be merely rational about this and practical, you would say, okay, I don't have what it takes here. 7 of Wands in reverse, 7, 7, 7. So you're indecisive about whether you should spend or this or not. And 9 of Wands in reverse. Yes, sure, you should. Now, we tend to feel that change needs to happen externally. In reality, this is for you. It's happening the right way, in the sense it happened emotionally, energetically first. You obviously made a decision. Your energy shifted. So this is the actual natural outcome in the practical. Okay? Okay, I want to do this. So it's not that you couldn't do it without these things, but it's kind of like proving to yourself that it's kind of like a commitment. If I do this, then I have no choice but to pull myself out of the whatever dire strait I'm in. So I'm going to be forced to be more productive, more present, more self-aware, more involved in my life, in my daily chores, in my pursuing my passions, in exploring and growing, and so on. Dissension. And the sky, incoming. You're definitely someone's counterpart. Someone who's yet to come into your space, into your reality, into your realm, your world. Okay, this is what this is revealing here. The cycle. The sky. This deck is the sky. This would be associated both with the chariot energy, commitment, and this is the stage where you actually part for a new journey. All veils are up. Wind is in your favor. Sun is up. Following your northern star. You're going. You're moving. You're advancing. Very beautiful. Sky's the limit, I hear the energy here. Cycles. 4. 4, 4, 4 here. You're achieving stability. You're actually more appreciated and well respected. If only you would grant yourself the possibility to interact with others, you would realize how appreciated and respected you actually are. There's fast, determined, courageous and passionate movement or new endeavor, actions in a new direction. Noble, the Three of Pentacles, as I said, you should do it. 4 to 3. You're going to have help, unexpected income, and so on. And the 2. Multitasking, as I said, 4 of Wands. Some indecision. So you're obviously either redecorating, repurposing, moving house, etc. Choosing the environment. Man sanctifies the space, right? Chooses a new environment that fits this current self that is arising, version of you. That you're discovering and you're absolutely loving. You can trust this new self. Even if the circumstances appear challenging, you can trust this new self. You know you're capable. You've got this. 8 of Wands. Yes, you've got this. Communication opening up. There's definitely incoming here. Offers, proposals. You obviously pursuing or open to exploring new things, entertaining new energies, new views, opportunities, expanding, exploring, very beautiful energy. And you're very careful and wise about how you invest not only your finances or lack thereof in this case, but you feel grateful. You've embraced the sense of abundance. Whether you get it or you don't, it's all the same to you. So you're either repurposing, finding new use for the things you already have as well. So this exploration would have been probably online, shuffling online, and it's fine. You don't feel overburdened nor conditioned or by whatever's thrown at you and all the possible offers and discounts. And you know what you need already. You may have your eyes on stuff, right? You even pick them, you do comparison. You're very good at finding the best price for the best product, down to the most minute detail. That's a powerful skill right here. People may actually navigate to you for purchases. Did you consider that you could actually embrace this hidden or unrevealed or not fully explored quality of yours? Like a shopping advisor, for example. And prudence in reverse. One can never be too careful, right? But I believe being overly cautious and fearful, and that's what you're overcoming. You did not live for so long because of fear. I want to make sure it's the right choice. I want to make sure it's... So you're defeating it by saying, heck this, I'm going to trust myself more. I know who I am. I know what I can do. Yes, I'm committing to something. I'm going to own it if I made a terrible choice and so on. But this is also a people card in the sense of reflection, perception, and so on. Sky is the limit. It means you're liberated from other people's choices, opinions, and so on. No longer emotionally confused. Very important. Very, very important energy. Sorry, let's see if this sticks for us. Okay. So, conscience, projects, definitely in reverse. And you're not projecting too much. Again, you're adjusting, you're adapting, you're flowing, you're quite skilled, capable, creative. The sky, cycles within cycles, exploration from within, right? As in layers of an onion, let's just say. From the center, you expand now. So you put yourself out there, you emanate. Others will feel this vibration, by the way. People will love to be around you. They find you wise, regardless of your results. Because you may say, well, when you look at yourself, right, you would say, okay, fine. I may not be your conventional winner, quote unquote. I may not have succeeded in any of the... Maybe I wasn't supposed to. What is success after all? Success is you becoming the you that you are now. The Two of Wands. Definitely a crossroads and a choice. And I believe you're making the right one. You have to take a leap of faith. Courage is definitely required. I believe you have more courage in you than you would even remember. And it is necessary because there's some form of spiritual nothingness at this point. Numbness. Nothing fulfills you, nothing. You're bored by your environment. You know you need a change. And you got to push through to make that change. Except even when you did try, or you settled for this, you've seen it and you decided, okay, I obviously need a change. But it never happened from within. You were trying to seek for that change externally. Now you're doing things the right way. As in, usually it's opposite to what we tend to do. So now you're changing from within. There's something that doesn't fulfill me. I'll take this as a heat, as a coal, as a catalyst for me to seek my emotional fulfillment. beyond judgment, the prejudice, or conditioning, or fear. I've been sitting here for way too long. You see the blessings. You also acknowledge that none of them can truly fulfill you, because we're not meant to find fulfillment in things. Not genuine fulfillment. Again, sky's the limit. We're anchored somewhere else. So, heart center of the world, of yourself, of the matter, of any matter that you may be always looking at, always aiming right in the center, beyond layers and layers and layers. That's where you're acting from now. You're expanding, and now it's going to translate into physical reality. Imagine yourself as being the nucleus of a cell. So you are the cell itself, but the heart represents the cell. And you're making those decisions from the heart because something's got to give. How long can you sit there in front of cups that cannot quench any thirst? Your first, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Lack, poverty mentality, a sensation of separation, abandonment, and victim mentality, overcoming it. Lack of order was the problem. Lack of actual commitment, a decision. This is very empowering because you realize the moment you decide, it has to stem from within again, energy-wise. How long can you go without spiritual waters, fulfillment? Each of us has their own source of fulfillment. Some are still looking for it, constantly confusing it with something else, trying to fill their heart with something else, etc. But you're not even looking or searching per se. You realize that presence is required. So even if you were stuck in front of whatever you saw as possible fulfillment or options, or you weren't there per se. You were elsewhere all along. Now you're returning to the present. It's very beautiful. Turning home to yourself. Put yourself out in the cold, literally. Denying yourself of the opportunities that may be there at any given time. Whether to rejoice, to be serene, and yes, even to progress, even if sometimes it means through processing, through pain, through purpose, aim, goal, but also offers opportunities, intention, attention, focus, directionality. Water in reverse, with that 4 of Cups in reverse, and this is a free. The plants. You're guided by your intuition. You're learning to trust it, and that's going to translate in prosperity, abundance, serenity, a sense of belonging, of fruitfulness. Very beautiful energy. Very beautiful feminine. At a very beautiful stage. It wasn't beautiful before. It doesn't have to be. We all have stages we need to go through, much like everything else in nature. Just trust the process. Any of us can only become what we were created and intended to become. Not more, not less. Anything else is an illusion. So, therefore, each of us is uncomparable. Of course, if they're brave enough to be authentic. A beautiful, inspired idea floats through pathways of light, waiting for the right moment to enter your mind and heart. They're no longer clashing, you see. Beautiful. Magnetism, I hear. It's such a natural process. This wonderful idea that stems from your soul will grow and blossom if you nurture it. Keep it safe within your inner world until it is ready to manifest in your outer. I believe you're at the stage where you're actually seeing manifestation, instant manifestation. Oh, yes, I could have it. Yes, why couldn't I have it? And it's not a toxic kind of a phenomena that we have now, whereas people are unaware of their own limitations. And this was quite the contrary. This feminine was limiting and restricting herself all along, in a state of pain and self-commiserating and unworthiness, and because of being hurt, disappointed, and unfulfilled. Keep it safe within your inner world, that center, right? Inner sanctum, until it is ready to manifest in your outer world. That's what you were doing without you even realizing. I believe you kind of you became numb to a point whereas you were afraid that any move you may make at that point, it would take you on, it would have you make a mistake that you will later regret or cannot be undone. The unforgivable, the ultimate betrayal of yourself or of something you truly wholeheartedly believed in, whether it's a dream, a vision, a hope, a knowing. So I'm better off not doing anything then. I'm not going to touch any of these cups that are right here. Nor can I say opportunities. I'm just not here. I'm here, but I'm not here. I don't want to mess anything up. I'm not going to take any chances. If I make another mistake, I may not be able to come back from that. One more step and I'm done. So all the suffering would have been for nothing. So you kind of instinctively felt that you were about to make a terrible choice, which you perceived to be a mistake. So you already made the choice, you see, by not doing what you were instinctively and uncontrollably called to constantly do. You restrained yourself. You have a victory over your shadow self, which at the time you confused it with you, with who you are. An inner conflict, a resolution to that inner conflict. So the decision is very easy to make right now. One of the two options is always an illusion. Exists only in order to reveal your true desire, your true degree, your true path. Much like darkness exists for light to stem out of it, so do other options exist in order for you to be able to practice free choice. But out of the two, there's only one that is yours. And sometimes it's neither of the two. It's always the third. A period of great fulfillment and accomplishment follows. That's the word, accomplishment. It's a lot better than the reading we had for Divine Feminine, which was over an hour. And yeah, my phone played tricks and did not record audio. And when I did go to upload it, also it didn't show up in the results. So I accidentally, because it didn't show up, I just hit upload of the last recorded video. As you know, I don't really edit and do all that stuff. So it's as organic as it can be. And I uploaded it, and thank goodness the sister then noticed that it was the Divine Masculine. So two worlds here become one. Because in the Divine Masculine reading, I was guided to write for a specific group of sisters. This is not your reading, as in stop meddling, focus on your process. But which one? There is no Divine Feminine reading. There wasn't. It was the masculines. So it sent them back to the same reading they were. So obviously there's a feminine that needed to actually see that reading, which belonged strictly to the masculine, to see it from his perspective. Very powerful. The mystery of life cannot be resolved but by you alone. Then it's always going to be subjective. It's important that it is. I'm moving forward with no prejudice, judgment, especially towards yourself, with every step of my journey, step by step. Yes, trust the process. Many blessings. Wow, I'm in awe of this feminine. She's the real deal here. She's all in, fully focused, fully balanced, nurturing, loving, prosperous, abundant. Oh, so beautiful, so glorious. Everything's an opportunity for her to either heal or nurture or restore something beautiful and so on. So obviously now she's ready to actually have, as a complementarity that is so natural for anyone who is in this stage. She's the wife archetype as well. She's someone's counterpart. For the balanced masculine to heed the call, to be able to align with this frequency and show up. It's very beautiful. So it's as if she's been readying herself, healing herself, going through her battles on her own and so on. At this last threshold you realized that the gatekeeper, why can I not do it? It was you. It appeared as having your face. So there was that, dark night of the soul, which is the most terrible. It's dreadful because you have to face yourself or a version of yourself. It's as if looking in that mirror. The mirror is broken now, which also represents ill luck. Your perception of yourself, the boxes that you may have put yourself in. And ultimately, you're now realizing that you may have allowed other forces to do so. To have you try and level up to a certain level of expectations and definitions and labels, and which actually ultimately led to you sacrificing your journey, your happiness, your fulfillment, your purpose, your life, your time. And you're not willing to do that anymore. I'm here, I'm fully present. I am the feminine incarnate, water and earth. Without me, there's no molding and building. And you know, in the old myths, for example, the dark feminine, Ereshkigal, ruled the underworld. When her sister came to visit her because Ereshkigal got sick, she couldn't make it out of there on her own, right? Duality, polarity, and so on. The bipolars get this concept more easily, but we all are to some extent in that sense. Anyway, and she heard the call. She answered the sisterly calling, right? She had to go, even though there was no connection or recognition in between the two, right? Because two polar opposites. So the goddess ascended to meet her sister in the underworld. Ereshkigal, the moment her sister came down, because she came as light in the underworld, destroyed her. Looked at her and destroyed her instantly. Now, what's the tale? Only you can delete, K-I-L, you. No one else can. Do you understand? Sometimes you gotta end something in order to fully integrate it. You see, she was never fully light. Just as like Ereshkigal, she was never fully darkness. So in order for her to truly come alive again in a new version of herself, she had to kill her light self, that ideal of herself, the perfected self, right? The successful self, etc. The self that we all want to be or aim to become, or etc. Idolize or worship to some extent, and so on, needs to be killed off and integrated. Now you are balanced. Now you can come back up. So the light you need in order to spark the life back in you lies in the self that you've constantly pursued or held to a higher standard, or in the death of said self. You gotta kill the old self, no matter how elevated, how perfect, how sanctified, how worshipped and idolized. And it's that self that kept you stuck, you clinging to having to be that. So there was a call here for your higher self to go down in the underworld and save Ereshkigal, your other self, your shadow. How do you save it? By sacrifice. You allow yourself to be killed by it, because the goddess knew when she descends, she will die. Light cannot exist within darkness. It can only stem from it, much like stars. It stems its birth from it, much like a child from the womb. It returns to it once it's ready to transcend. When we die, you return to darkness. So anyway, I hope this helps. Nonsense, because I was struggling to remember the names and the dates, and it's a bit of a mishmash. Universal love. You got infused with some corrupt version of how love should feel, or how love should translate, or what love is, and so on, the nature of this reality. This is the godly love, and here's that 44. 8 is a number of productivity, work, efficiency, building, perfecting, manifesting, creating. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Before you can do that, any of us can do that, you still have to understand that your experience is going to be extremely, extremely subjective. You can grasp that concept, but the only way for you to truly connect to it is the way anything else in nature does. And I'll give a human example. A poor countryman works the land every day. He's not part of the world. He doesn't even have a TV. He doesn't watch the news. He may not even have electricity. Is he a part of the world? He's more of a part of the world than many of those who are connected in the virtual realm. How? Because he is exactly what he was intended to be. He lives every moment fully. He's not distracted. He's not easily confused. He doesn't question the purpose of his existence. He just goes along with it, with the cycles, with the needs. He heeds. He answers the call. He follows his instinct. He follows all the signs ever connected. He doesn't follow ideals or dreams, and even when he does his best and puts all the sweat of his brows is on that land, he toils and tills and labors, and at the end he's always say, God's will be done. And he goes home to pray for rain, for good weather. I pray God gives me his grace and we have a good harvest. I've done my part. And he knows immediately that if he doesn't, obviously somewhere in there, he either has done something wrong or there's something bigger at stake that may have nothing to do with him. So he shifts his focus to individuate the problems, where he goes wrong, where his wife goes wrong, what's happening, what have we done wrong? And then he expands outwardly towards the community and asks the priest and asks his neighbor, but first and foremost he looks within. He has a sacred connection with the divine, and he recognizes the plan in his daily activities, life journey, and his workings through nature, through messengers, through signs. He's not distracted. That's all it takes. Is he connected to this concept of God and universal love and the thread that connects all the sparks, part of that one soul? Yes, of course he is. Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to define it as such. Nobody. He is exactly what he was supposed to be, as to the best of his abilities. He has his evil inclination. He fights it all day long. Sometimes he may lose in front of it. He may take a cup too many. He may swear at his wife. He may get angry. He may not be overly sensitive with his children and so on. He may not want to participate in community gatherings all the time, and etc., etc., etc. He may hold grudge and be envious and greedy, but ultimately, he never departs from God. Never. He apologizes, he tries harder, he tries to change his ways, always in a relationship with God, always fearful, respectful, and honoring. And that's very important. So that's the universal love we need, not one that is based on human intentions, desires, and options, decisions, and choices that we think we may have. It's one that is beyond questioning. The universal love is a force that, unless we connect to it at its core, each of us individually, we will never be connected at all. So the connection doesn't need to happen in a practical sense. It happens energetically by one accepting this ultimate, unquestionable fact that there is intelligent design and a creator, therefore, hence a creation. So there's a purpose and an intention behind creation. Same as we create an object, we would expect it to do what we created it for. We emulate Father all the time. We create objects with specific purposes. And we invest all our love, and we design each of them as uniquely as possible. And it's so beautiful. Then all of a sudden, boom, bam, boom, it refuses to work. Objects don't have free will, but we do. We refuse to work with them. So in such defiance, how can we truly, any of us, be what we were intended to be? Fulfill our purpose like cells in a body, and therefore have the whole function and feel as one, no matter what creed, what race, what age, what generation, living or spirit, or in this lifetime or the previous, and even time fails, linear time as we perceive it, ages, and fail to actually be able to define, or defy rather, I would say, this universal force of the Creator. So basically, each cell should be only concerned, first and foremost, about their own functioning, their own abilities, their own nature. That's the service they provide. That's the purpose they were created for. So they always have to refer back to the one that created them for guidance, for opportunities, for correction, for advice, for healing, for restoration. There is nothing but Him. Only when each of us manages to restore our sacred connection, unique connection with Father, then we can actually genuinely act as one. It reminds me of the bee, right? The queen bee. Everybody does their part, right? Everybody accepts their role. There's no questioning, there's no decision making, it's just a natural order. And each of those roles, yes, implies sacrifices. But all of them are connected by one single force. Not because they sit and chat about it, or they have conversations about it, or no. It just is. It's a fact. It requires nothing of us other than just being. I am that I am. You are exactly what you were created to be, unless, of course, you choose to challenge that. And that's the cause of pain. And when we went through this so many times, like If someone is born to be a singer, sooner or later, he's bound to have to become one. Do you understand that? And it's beyond labels. We're not going to get to define that one is more relevant than another. What we can observe, one is refusing to be just exactly what they were intended to be, fulfill their purpose. And another is doing just that. That's fulfillment, that's prosperity, that's connection, that's purpose. Many blessings. Shalom.